Good afternoon, guys. Join me once again on the bank. This time I'm at Broadlands in Southampton. It's a 26-acre lake. It's got hundreds of carp in it to upper 30s, close to 40s. So yeah, down here for 48 hours plus. I got down this morning and I'm here till Sunday lunchtime. Well, as soon as the bivvy's dried on Sunday, I'll be heading off. I need to get back. But yeah, so down here for a couple of nights. I got down, like I say, this morning. I had a slow setup. Last month, if you watched my video, you see I had a bad back. After that session, my back took a downhill turn and it was really bad. So I've still been suffering with it. I'm not on the meds anymore. I've used all those up. And yeah, it's still playing up a bit. So I've been taking it easy, setting up nice and slow this weekend. And to be honest with you, I've not been fully set up for that long. I got down at 8 o'clock. It's now 1 o'clock. Rods have been out for a couple of hours or so, or a few hours. I got these up about 10 o'clock, but I just took my time setting the bivvy up and getting everything else set up. Because like I say, just taking it careful with my back. It's aching a little bit. Hopefully all the hard work's done. I can now sit down and relax. Like I say, here till Sunday. Tomorrow I'm going to be joined by Nick. He's a subscriber of mine. I've met him on the bank once before at Ratfin, which is part of the Watergate and Ratfin complex. We sort of, said hello while he was on the bank, and he contacted me and said, do you fancy going fishing together? This is quite a while ago, and we worked out a date that we can both do. That was tomorrow, so he's joining me tomorrow morning. And originally my session was going to be tomorrow just until Sunday lunchtime. However, I had a day off. Well, I had no work booked for Friday, and the swim that we booked into had a space free for today and tonight. So I booked that, come down a day early. I told Nick, so he's going to get down in the morning. I'm going to cook him breakfast while he's setting up, and hopefully between us we get a chance of a fish. Hopefully a fish or two or more, who knows. Shortly after setting up, my middle rod, which is 12.5 wraps out on a nice little gravel spot going towards the island. I had a massive sharp take to the top. Nice tight line. Line started lifting out of the water with the tight clutches, and then it just dropped to the bottom. And I picked the rod up, round down, and yeah, I couldn't hit into anything. There was nothing there. As much as I wound down, whether the fish was swimming towards me when it, might have picked up the bait, gave a good old pull on the line, and then when it dropped back, it might have been because it's swimming this way, and I just round and round and round and round and round. Eventually felt the lead, and yeah, it was nothing there. So yeah, bit of a shame. There are a lot of bream in this lake, so it could have been a bream, but the way that was pulling the line nice and tight, and I could see the line lifting out of the water, I don't think it was a bream. It was a bit too savage, if I'm honest. And saying that, it could well have been. But anyway, all three rods are out. I've got running leads on all three. I've not set any PVA bags up just yet. I will tie some up in a minute. But I've got running leads on all three rods. Two of the rods are the bottom bait OG fish with a 14mm bottom bait OG fish with a 10mm pop up, so they just waft down nicely. And the left hand rod is the fruit and nut in the same style. So yeah, I've got the rods out. The take I had was on the OG fish, so I've got two out on that, one out on the fruit and nut. We're going to see what happens, and fingers crossed we get lucky. But crouching like this is hurting me back a little bit, so I'm going to go and sit down in my chair, get nice and comfy, and I'll catch up with you in a little while. Okay guys, I thought I'd just quickly show you my swim. So one sort of a point that comes out, and you're between two islands, wherever the right hand island is well out of my water, and also that's where Nick's going to be fishing tomorrow. But my spots, I'll quickly show you where they are. I've got one close to the island, just to the left of the trunk of the tree over there. I've got one 12.5 wraps out, nice little gravel patch which the bait have told me about, and yeah, 12.5 wraps, it's about 4 foot deep there, so got that there, and I've put some bait out with a throwing stick over that one, and then one which is going to that sort of mushroom tree in the background there, and that one is 15.5 wraps. Again, it's on a gravelly area, and the bailiff knew exactly, when I said to him I found a nice spot out there, he knew exactly the spot I meant. So yeah, 15.5 wraps, and I put a bit of bait out with the spom, and I put about 8 spoms out this morning, and then I followed it up about an hour or so ago with another 5 spoms. So a bit of bait out there. So that's my baited spot between the two islands. Don't want to go too mad, because the bailiff said if someone goes opposite me, it is sort of getting into their area. So I don't want to bait up someone else's swim for them. Saying that, there's no one there just yet. So I'm chancing my arm a bit, but I'm going to keep my bait going out there and see what happens. But the funny take I had was on the middle rod, going out over to that rod, or towards the island over that way, 12.5 wraps, and that's the rod I had a funny sort of take on. So the rods haven't been touched since I put them out, apart from the rod after the funny take. I've re-put that one out. I'm in an iron about whether to put them out again. I probably will, so I might do that now before it gets too dark. It is now, what is the time? It's 4:30. So it's going to be dark in a couple of hours. So yeah, I think I should consider putting some fresh bait out and getting settled for the night. So let me get that done, and I'll catch up with you in a little while. Okay guys, so I'm just getting the baits set up for the evening. I'm in right end rod, slip D rig with a fluorocarbon hook length, running lead, 2.5 ounce lead, like I say, on a running lead setup. And I'm just going to, in the bucket, I've got a mixture of fruit and nut and OG fish. OG fish have obviously been soaked in the OG fish sauce, and likewise the fruit and nut's been soaking in the fruit and nut. I put a little bit of the Himalayan rock salt over just to help keep them fresh through the session. And I'm not going to go mad with a bait. That is more than enough, I reckon, to go out there. It's about 4 foot deep, so it's spread a little bit as it falls through the water, but not a lot. I might just break some of these up. But what I want is a little bit of bait out there. I will spom some out as well to get a spread in the area, but right around the hook bait, that'll do me. On the hook, I've got a bottom bait hard hooker, supercharged hard hooker, OG fish with a 10mm pop up, and that just wafts nicely on the bottom. So that should stay out there lovely all for the evening until the morning if nothing picks it up. So that's going to go out there. Like I said, that's the right hand rod. I'm going to put it out 15.5 wraps. I've measured up, so I'll hold the rod. When it gets to the 15.5 wraps, I'll keep a tight line and just feel it down. So that's the right hand rod, and it's going to go out now. I'm going to put 4 or 5 spots over there, and I'm only using boilies. I know the bream in here, if they get on your bait, they will mully you, and I'm trying to avoid having any pellet in the mix. I've tied up some solid bags, not put any out, so I'm relying just on boilie at the moment. What I like to do, rather than put a load of bait in 2 or 3 spoms, I'd rather put a little bait in 5 or 6 spoms and try and get a spread. Try and keep those fish moving around from spot to spot. Sun's rapidly going down now. I don't like using a throwing stick. Don't do my shoulders any good. Never has done. In fact, the first time I ever used a throwing stick was down here. And it's one of the original Cobra ones. When they first came out. Went to one of the Carp Society conferences. And there's this woman, I think her name was Nina, and she was selling these throwing sticks. No one had ever seen anything like it before. And yeah, I bought one, came down here, put a couple of kilos out, and yeah, it was hard work, I tell you. So all I'm doing is just getting some baits out in the area. I don't really care if it's on the bait or not. That one was right near it. That one was on the spot. That seagull got it, and he's coming back for that one. And that one, and that one. That's the only thing about pelting and throwing sticks. You forget how naughty these seagulls are. I must admit, this is a bit easier to use than the original one. It's much lighter. The original one was metal. It's like a bicycle handle on the end of it. And yeah, although it was a good innovation, good idea, and she sold loads, it certainly was the start of throwing sticks as we know them. But right, that'll do me for now. Might even put some out in the night when the seagulls are gone. Evening guys, it's about 6:30. I'm just about to put my dinner on. I've got one of the cook range, chili con carne, the old Uncle Ben's original long grain, and some tortillas. So that's going to be my dinner for tonight. It's going in there, and then yeah, going to enjoy eating that with a nice cold beer. So yeah, lovely evening. It's calmed right down out there. Wind's died down. A couple of guys have set up a couple of swims down. They've had a couple of bream already, or a bream and some attention. So yeah, there's bream down to the right hand side of me. Fortunately, nothing like that from me so far, but I don't want to talk too soon. But anyway, it's a lovely evening. I'm going to get my dinner on, and I'll catch up with you in a little while. Good morning guys. It's Saturday the 7th of October, and it was a quiet night, I'm not going to lie. I've just seen a fish behind the camera. First fish I've seen this morning, on the other end of the island, and way over to my left, several swims down, and I've got geese in the swim hitting the lines. But it was a quiet night. I had a bream about 9:30 last night. That's the only fish I've landed. I've had several bleeps and twitches. on all 3 rods, which could well have been bream action, could be anything, could be fish in their lines. But yeah, it's been quiet. We had a bit of rain in the night, which I wasn't expecting. I thought it was going to be dry. It wasn't heavy, but yeah, like I say, just a bit unexpected. And yeah, so a quiet night all round. And yeah, I've not seen much. I've just seen that fish behind the camera, but apart from that, I've not seen a lot. Well, I haven't seen anything, or heard anything either. So very quiet. Okay, so today is Saturday the 7th of October. Now the weather forecast I keep hearing about all week is this weekend's going to be a scorcher. So let's have a quick look and see what the forecast actually is today. So today we are going up to 21 degrees, which is pretty for early October. That is mental. We'll see if it happens. It's quite cloudy out there at the moment. Misty night, and a clear night, and tomorrow should be a dry pack up. So yeah, happy days. Let's just have a quick look at the wind again. So the wind is continuing on the westerly front, and then tomorrow it's going to flip around. Yeah, going more an easterly, southeasterly to a northerly. Interesting. But anyway, that's where we are. And yeah, if anything happens, I'll let you know. And once Nick arrives, obviously we'll have a bit of breakfast together while he's setting up, and I'll catch up with you soon. Guys, it's about 12:30 now. Absolutely glorious day, like they said it would be. It didn't look like it was going to be to start with. It was very cloudy until sort of about 9, half 9, and the sun started peeking through, and it's absolutely glorious. October, can you believe it's October? And I'll sit here in shorts and a t-shirt. Even been paddling in the lake. But anyway, Nick's got his rods out. First thing he's done is put the rods out, obviously. He's just setting up the bivvy. We've cracked open a can of the gold stuff to celebrate, you know, such a lovely day, really. And I'm having to reconsider my right-hand rod because some guys have moved in the swims opposite. And as the bailiff said, I was probably encroaching in their water. Where they put their baits is not really interfering with where mine was, but I think out of courtesy, etiquette, and just, you know, later on if I want to put some bait out, I'm going to come shorter and possibly a bit closer to the island than where I was. I've had a quick feel around with a marker, and I found a spot. Whether I go there, I might go creeping a little bit closer to the overhanging tree. But yeah, that's the plan. And yeah, so we're enjoying these cold tinnies, and like I say, it's absolutely close. I'm actually sitting in the shade at the moment, and it's still very warm, and it is mental. This first week in October, and it is absolutely glorious. Not as windy as yesterday. There's a little bit of a breeze, but there's nothing like it was yesterday, and it's very quiet though. I've not seen any signs of carp, no crashing, no fizzing, no rolling, nothing. It's very, very quiet. Yeah, I had a couple of bleeps on my rods this morning, but nothing came of it. So that's the situation, that's where we are. So we're going to make the most of it, have a chinwag, have a bit of a chat, and enjoy the afternoon. And obviously we'll catch up with you in a little while.
Bream Bashing at Broadlands. Volume 1. Well, I mean...
Well, welcome to the channel, Nick.
Thank you, Steve. Happy to be here.
Yeah. So, me and Nick don't really know each other. We've bumped into each other on the bank once or twice before.
Twice or thrice, perhaps.
Yeah.
But yeah.
At Watergate and Ratfin venue.
Correct.
And we've sort of spoke to each other on Facebook and via my YouTube channel, etc., etc. So yeah, we keep in touch that way. But yeah, first time we've actually gone fishing together. So we thought we'd come down to Broadlands in Southampton. It's normally a prolific venue, but it's not proven to be so far. I mean, I think we've seen one carp caught while we've been down here by one fella, and that is it so far. Plenty of bream coming out. We're both putting bream out.
Prolific for bream.
Yeah. So yeah, a little bit of a nightmare trying to fight the bream off, but we're persevering. But to be on the upside, what a beautiful day we've had today. Absolutely stunning.
Some sort of October record, probably.
Yeah, it's got to be. It's got to be the hottest October day on record, I'd imagine. It's been absolutely stunning. Doesn't feel like pike season.
No, definitely not.
No, it's yeah.
Feels like mixers fishing on the surface season.
It does.
Not seen anything to go at.
So yeah, so it's on the plus side. We've had a nice day on the bank, had a bit of chat, and yeah, sharing our rigs with each other, and yeah, just catching up in general. So obviously I don't know much about you, Nick, so your fishing history.
My fishing history. Oh, I've still got it. First ever fishing rod at about 6 years old. Some horrible metal spigoted, hollow plastic handled, bright green thing.
Sounds like the one I had.
It's got about a 3.5 minute tip recovery, I think. Dabbling with a bit of sea fishing in Denmark. And then flitted to course fishing. A couple of tuition things. Still do course fish, can't give that up. But pursuit of the bigger...
But you've been fishing one way or another pretty much all your life, haven't you?
Yeah, pretty much. Had a few breaks. Sometimes, shouldn't say it, but sometimes women, you know, make it difficult to go. But I'm very fortunate now with the woman in my life, and I'm allowed to go occasionally. So grab those opportunities. But yeah, I just love fishing, to be fair. Lucky to have fished lots of different countries. Not a fluff chucker, but lure fishing, freshwater fishing, saltwater fishing, any of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of course gear still, and
you have travelled the world, didn't you, in pursuit of
game
fish?
Been lucky. Well, yeah, more wherever I go, I fish rather than I go places to fish. But there, I got engaged in Thailand, fishing for 12 hours before that. Honeymoon in Mexico, fishing on that. It's an ever present, but at least it's not a surprise to my suffering wife. It's It's always on the cards if I can engineer it, and she'll give me the benefit of a bit of time to be able to do it. So, and now I have a 3-year-old and getting him into it already as well.
And one on the way.
And one on the way. That might put brakes on a little bit, but we will see. I've got one booked in for next year anyway, 148 hour. So I won't be without bank time next year. But yeah.
And what do you think of Broadlands as a venue?
Lovely bit of water, far too many bream in here.
Yeah.
But I'd only fished it once, which was this summer actually, pretty much opposite where we are now, Steve. And 48 hours, I think I had 3 bream and an 18-pound carp in the first 20 odd, and then it just sort of died. I think I had 1 bream, never saw a show, nothing. Yeah. And obviously I arrived this morning, and yeah, you're beating me 4-3 on the bream, but we're both blanking essentially.
Yeah.
But
and the carp just aren't really showing anyway, are they? I mean,
no.
I've seen since I've been down. Yesterday evening, the carp was going a bit mental, where you got your right hand rod under the tree on the island.
Had my right hand rod until we got
the
another bream, but you know.
I've seen one over literally in the margin opposite.
Yeah.
I've seen one down the other end of the island to our left, but you know, might as well be in another lake really, that one.
Yeah, it's just not a small bit of water,
but
is it?
yeah, there's not much showing at all.
No.
So,
and as it is now on catch, it's become one of the old book a swim and stick to your swim. So
yeah,
watercraft is you're kind of limited, and if they're not there, you can't catch them, of course, as the old adage goes.
yeah,
but we're fishing.
You've got to be in it to win it.
6 baited rigs between us. So,
and you may have noticed in some of the footage, there's a hut. They've put some new huts up in some of the swims, and there will be something that you'll be able to rent out and stay in. They're not open as yet, but I think it's imminent. So what the cost will be, again, no idea. But if you like fishing in a hut, you will have that chance. Personally, it's not for me. I'd rather stay in my bivvy. But yeah, but they are going to be available for those of you that like fishing out of a hut. But yeah. So
I'd rather stay in that bivvy as well, mate, to be fair. Not jealous at all.
It's a good bivvy, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah. I mean, there's room for you to come in, but I ain't inviting you.
Maybe next time.
But yeah, it would be nice to catch a fish. I mean, we came knowing it wasn't going to be easy. So, I thought if we have a fish out between us this weekend, we'll be doing well.
Yeah, just coming to catch one and see what happens after that. But at the moment, I'm not sure where that one's coming from. But
no, and the lake has filled up. Obviously, Nick turned up this morning, but as well as another, car park full of anglers by the sound of it.
Yeah, I joined a queue to get in this morning.
And there's people in all the swims opposite, so I've had to pull my right hand rod in, which I had out a bit further last night. I've had to find a new spot for that because I didn't want to get into like a row over whose water I'm fishing in or anything like that. So I've just moved it, and I've got my own area now. Whether it's good or bad, I don't know. We'll wait and see. But the bream seem to like it, so there's that to it. Just watching what the angler's doing over the other side.
I've just seen a grass snake swim across.
Have you?
To show how warm it is, yeah. Can't imagine many people have seen one in October. It's just come along the island and making its way.
Well, it's been all sorts of
dragonflies,
butterflies, yeah. All flying around in October. I just can't. I keep saying October because I just can't believe it.
No.
But yeah, so it's been a lovely day. We've been sort of trying our best to tempt the carp, but the bream is the only thing's taking the bait. So we've been a bit busy, not had much time for filming, but I thought I'd take the moment to introduce you to Nick. So yeah, no doubt he'll be in future videos as well. So yeah, watch out for him. And well, I guess you got to get that rod out, haven't you?
Yeah, bream are calling.
Get that rod out, see if we can get another bream, and then we'll see about doing some dinner. What you got for dinner tonight?
Same thing you had last night, Steve. Chili
con carne,
yeah. But,
yeah. And I've got the chicken Penang. Oh, I love that one. Anyway, catch up with you in a bit. Okay, for dinner tonight, it's my old favourite chicken Penang, VT rice. I've also got a couple of naan breads to go with it. So that's going to go in Ridge Monkey. Get it warmed up. I'm looking forward to this. You know it's one of my favourites. Well, good morning. Well, I say good morning. It's a lovely morning, lovely misty. Well, good morning. It's just gone 7. Got a misty lake in front of us, but unfortunately, no fish. Had a couple of knocks, not many. I literally had middle rod beeped a couple of times in the night, and a little while ago, the left-hand rod done the same thing, and both the bobbins have gone up a couple of inches, but that's about it. So yeah, very, very quiet, but there's still a chance. Still feels very good for a bite at the moment with the mist on the lake, and yeah, and hopefully before the sun gets too high, I think we might have a slim chance of a bite. So here's hoping. But like I say, it's a very quiet night. Had a fantastic kip, so sort of every cloud and all that. But anyway, that's where we are. And unfortunately, Nick as well, he's pretty similar. He's had a couple of bleeps, one in the night and again a little while ago this morning. So yeah, in the same boat, so nothing to show. But I've not heard any buzzers anywhere going. I've not heard or seen any fish. Yeah, it's quiet, guys, so what can I say? Anyway, catch up with you as and when and if it happens. Watch you guys. So, as you can tell, I'm not on the bank, I'm at home, and I'm just doing the editing and realised the SD card for Sunday morning's footage has not worked. I've got a problem with that, so no footage from Sunday morning. However, Nick and myself did get a few more bream, and no carp though, and yeah, it's a bit of a shame. But that's the way it goes sometimes. But it's been a great weekend. We really enjoyed it. The weather was fantastic. Gave us a chance to sit outside, have a few beers, you know, have a chat, and yeah, catch up and, well, get to know each other. So yeah, really nice weekend. And yeah, just a shame no carp. I really hope you enjoyed the video, regardless of the fact we didn't catch. And if you did, you know, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, give it a thumbs down. And subscribe. Please subscribe if you haven't already. There's a large percentage, I think it's 80% of my viewers don't subscribe. So it doesn't cost you anything. So just click that button, click the bell notification. So any uploads I put on there, you're not going to miss them. And hopefully I'll be back on the bank soon. And hopefully you'll watch me when I do. So until then, be lucky, guys. And I'll see you soon.